Citizens of Melbourne, we're here today outside Flinders Street Station on our weekly Friday vigil for Julian Assange. Julian Assange is an Australian citizen, award-winning journalist, has committed no crime. He's in jail for no reason other than the fact that through his WikiLeaks news service, he's let the world know all sorts of information about wars that have been started by the United States in the last 20 years that the United States don't want us to know about. He has been in jail, locked away in solitary confinement for 3.5 years and has committed no crime. The Australian government knows that this imprisonment and torture of Julian Assange is illegal. The Australian government could ring up British Prime Minister today and tell her that you are holding an Australian citizen illegally and release him now. And she would have no choice but to release him today. Why won't the Australian government act to stop an American government trying to kidnap an Australian citizen? If the American government gets away with this, then what other citizen of the world will the United States not then be able to kidnap at their whim? They fear effective journalists, they fear journalists like Julian Assange, and they want to make an example of him, and they want him to set a precedent so that from now on, any other time, anyone writes effectively, tells the world the truth about what's going on, about the war crimes of the United States, about political corruption inside the United States and inside Australia as well. They want the right to be able to take that journalist and lock him away for the rest of his life. In Australian Parliament, we are supposed to be a democracy. In our Parliament, we have a Bring Home Julian Assange parliamentary support group. And yet, this parliamentary support group has not been allowed for at least 2 years to put to your Australian Parliament a simple motion calling on the Australian government to act to end the illegal imprisonment and torture of Julian Assange. Next week, Parliament will be sitting Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. I think all of us have to get on to our local Member of Parliament. We have to get on to the members of the Julian Assange, Bring Julian Assange Home support group and tell those members that next week they should really raise their voices high and not allow themselves to be stuffed around. For over 2 years they've been trying to get Julian Assange even debated on the floors of our Parliament, and yet our crooked Parliament has not allowed them to even discuss Julian Assange, the most famous Australian in the world. Now what on earth has your Prime Minister Anthony Albanese to fear from an open debate of Julian Assange, assuming, as Anthony Albanese would have us believe, that he's done everything that he could have done and should have done to free Julian Assange? Why won't your Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, why won't the opposition allow a motion to be put on the floor of Parliament calling on the Australian government to act to end the illegal imprisonment and torture of Julian Assange? We must make sure that someone in Parliament raises the voice of Julian Assange next week. What kind of a democracy won't allow the voice of Julian Assange, the most famous journalist in the world, to be heard on the floor of our Parliament?